All right, so this one went past my radar about a week ago, but man, every time I look at the Democrats, I say to myself, how much worse could it really get, man? How much worse? I'm gonna play this real quick. This is Al Green getting censured, and they decide to break into "We Shall Overcome." Let me play that real quick, and then I'm gonna talk about why it's so disrespectful.
And that Representative Al Green be censured with public reading of this resolution by the Speaker. The House had come to order. The House had come to order.
Y'all are really singing "We Shall Overcome."
What's it?
You want to let him keep doing this, or tell me fair?
What I found disturbing about this, Al Green, when he stood up during the president's address to Congress, just to make a show out of it, I think it was disrespectful. And obviously, I'm not going to go over what you all know, how they didn't stand up for the young man with cancer, and everything else that happened, Lake and Riley's family and everything else. But what's crazy about this video is that they start singing this "We Shall Overcome," right? And anybody who is living on planet Earth who has any knowledge of the civil rights movement is that "We Shall Overcome" is very much tied to, it's a very old song, but it's tied very closely to the civil rights movement. When I think of "We Shall Overcome," I think about these type of things. I think about the real struggle. So this is what I think about when it comes to the civil rights movement. These are the real images that are really real, and it's disrespectful for the people who really went through these things, who made life for people who look like me, people of color, black people. They made life, the sacrifices they made during the civil rights movement, the sacrificing their lives for the changes. And to sit here and sing that song, this is what "We Shall Overcome" is about.
We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday.
So I'll pause it there. But to have the Democrats sit there and sing that song, again, not that the song is a song, but it's closely, anybody, like I said, if you know that song, it makes you think of these times, the civil rights movement, the 50s and the 60s, right? And for them to sit up there and sing this song like they're being persecuted, it's just ridiculous, and it's disrespectful in my opinion. And this is why, people like myself, when I look at the Democratic Party, I'm like, you guys are just whacked to a different level, to that point where you want to throw in things that are really sensitive, and this is particularly this hand in hand singing "We Shall Overcome" particularly should speak to black people in this country. And for them to use that at a time where maybe they're not getting what they want is ridiculous. What they've done over the past almost 2 months now has really shown how discombobulated the party is
common sense.
On that point about fighting,
Yes.
this whole issue of Chuck Schumer, basically helping the Republicans out, causing mayhem with a lot of the progressive left. Let's see Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's reaction to what he did.
Senate Democrats to completely roll over and give up. I think there is a deep sense of outrage and betrayal. Just to see Senate Democrats even consider acquiescing to Elon Musk, I think it is a huge slap in the face.
Now, what was interesting, Schumer, I think, took a pragmatic view, which he articulated by saying that a government shutdown would have been a far worse option than passing the GOP's spending bill. And that once it's shut down, Trump, Musk and the others would have free reign to do what the hell they liked until it got reopened. I understood that argument. It was a pragmatic answer. But I also could see the fury from his own party members. How did you feel about it?
The minute they can start standing up for the other 50% of this country who doesn't agree with Donald Trump. Until he does that, and until he realizes that messaging is part of that equation, I don't think the Democrats are going to be successful. And so I share Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's anger. I share the anger of the Democratic grassroots. And I think that Chuck Schumer is not the right man for the moment that we're living in right now to be the Democratic leader of this party.
Riley, as somebody who was one of the heroes, really, of driving this whole debate over biological men and women's sport, it did seem to me that that was one of the pivotal planks of the common sense culture war, which Trump so successfully won here. And, you know, I've just written a column for the Spectator magazine here, that amid all the hysteria that I'm seeing about Trump, as always, we're 2 months in. And if I was a betting man looking ahead to, say, 6 months down the line, say to the end of the year, I would say there's a very good chance by the end of the year that Trump has got the US economy purring, that he's got peace both in Gaza and in Ukraine. Not perfect peace, because they never are, but peace. And that he's probably got the border into a far more controlled state than it was under the previous administration. And if he's done those four things in his first year, he will go down immediately as one of the most transformative presidents of modern times. So I think the Democrats are in real trouble here.
Now, I've been saying the same thing, just to echo what Pierce is saying, that, yeah, if he is able to get the economy back in the right trajectory, solve some of the problems abroad as far as Ukraine and any of the issues as far as, you know, there's a lot going on in the Middle East, whether between Israel and Palestine, and obviously Syria's President Bashar is gone now. So Syria, you have Iran. If he's able to tamper down what's going on overseas, get the economy going in the right direction. Obviously, border crossings are down like 99 or 95%. If he's able to keep these things going, I think the Democrats are scared to death, because what's going to happen is that, what are we going to keep complaining about? And if they are trimming the government and things are still efficient, what are they going to complain about?
And the reason they're trying to chuck everything at Trump and Elon Musk and the others is because I think a lot of them think this might be what happens.
That's right, Piers. You believe that because Trump is a man of his word. He makes promises and he keeps his promises. Watching AOC's remarks, watching the response that we have seen following Chuck Schumer's vote on the CR, I mean, to your point, to Dave's point, it's like every single day I wake up to a new nonsensical, destructive hill that the Democrats are willing to die on, whether it is men and women's sports, whether it is, I mean, Aunt Jemima on a syrup bottle. I think today the hill that Democrats are willing to die on is an auto-pen signature from a vegetable president on a preemptive pardon for totally innocent people, and violent criminal non-U.S. citizens are entitled to due process. They have built their entire movement on identity politics, on corruption, on media control, on hypocrisy, but now it's all collapsing under its own weight. We are seeing infighting, we are seeing failed policies, and we are seeing now the general public waking up to this scam. And I can say, as someone who, I mean, the past, 16-ish years, 12 of those years leading up to, of course, January 20th, were under Democrat control. So most of my adult life, we have seen Democrats in charge of this country. This is something that this type of infighting, I really haven't seen before. Democrats in total disarray like this. Normally it's happening on the Republican side of the aisle. So to see Republicans together and cohesive and advancing in this way and united, really, I think it's something we haven't seen before. And I think it's largely to blame the Democrats. They are their own worst enemy. They are eating each other alive. We've now seen Chuck Schumer this morning. He just announced that he had to cancel his book tour after his own party revolted against him. So again, the Democratic Party, in a nutshell, is unquestioning loyalty and total conformity.
Now they're in a lot of trouble, and I've been saying this really since the presidency started. When I started, well, not right immediately, but right as I start seeing all the craziness with the Democratic Party, I start saying they're scared, because if Donald Trump, if he succeeds, honestly, I'll tell you this: I think that if the economy gets better, because Americans don't care about most of everything. Americans, let's be honest, the average American doesn't really care what's going on overseas, right? We really don't care, honestly. You know, as long as it's not hitting our shores, we see stuff. Israel, Palestine has been going on, God knows how. It's been going on my whole lifetime and then some. So most Americans are just used to conflicts overseas. So no one in America is going to sit here and not live their life because something's going on overseas. It's the economy. If the economy gets better, if egg prices go down and the economy gets a little bit better, Americans won't give a damn about nothing else. And at that point, they will not complain as much about the ones who are complaining. There's a large portion of people, I believe, who won't complain anymore. Now, look, the Democrats, their issues are more political, more than anything else. It's not so much that they are worried so much, in my opinion, not so much worried about the country. They are worried about their positioning politically and how it's going to change. Because if I was a Democrat right now and I was in the party, not just a voter, but in the actual party, I'd be terrified right now because, like I said, if any of the things the Republicans are trying to move forward start to move forward, and they've attacked things aggressively and they have went about things in a way where they're not scared. It's very, very ballsy, right? Whether you agree or disagree, if they start to succeed, Democrats look irrelevant. Democrats look discombobulated right now. They don't have a vision outside of 4 years. They don't have a vision. It's all political, but they don't seem to have a vision as to where they want America to go. We can argue back and forth as citizens whether we agree or disagree, but one thing you have to agree about is the Democrats have not put forth the plan of how they see America. And that's something that Donald Trump and the Republicans actually have.
Or else. And we saw what happened with Gavin Newsom, right? I think he started the Democratic Party civil war of 2025 after his comments and saying, look, it is unfair to allow men onto women's sports teams.
Well, they're all working out. They're all working out. You were right all along. As I kept telling you were whenever you came on. You were. And you were very brave because actually to be as vocal as you were about that issue 2 years ago was to sign your professional death warrant in many places. You know, the cancel culture was alive and aggressive and nasty, and people like you and J.K. Rowling and others who stood up for women's rights were getting destroyed. So it took a lot of courage, and I've saluted you for that. But Batia, it was interesting because one of the great hopes that you might think might come through all this has always been, well, if Michelle Obama ran, she would take Trump down. And Michelle Obama's now got this podcast out with her brother that is spectacularly awful and might be ending any prospect that she could ever run for president, podcast by podcast. Let's take a look at one of the more enthralling clips.
Every year we'd have the turkey pardoning. And that was the one thing that the girls would do at Barack, was to go stand next to him when he pardoned this turkey.
Yes.
And it was cute when they were little, but as they got older, you could see on their faces in the shots of them thinking, I would just poke my eyes out. Just right now, just get me out of here. I'm standing with my father telling these stupid jokes, next to a turkey.
Now, that's her brother, Craig. And look, it's perfectly nice, fair, if you just want to hear tittle-tattle about turkeys and whatever. But it's not doing very well. And I think that is indicative of the problem the Democrats are in, Batia, because you're trying to work out where are they going to go. They're either going to someone like Newsom.
I talked about Michelle Obama in another video. So honestly, Michelle Obama has pivoted out of politics. If you ask me, she's completely pivoted out. She is not, this podcast should tell you she is not trying to do something politically anymore. I think that the podcast, in my opinion, look, her second interview was Issa Rae. Now, I love Issa Rae. Issa Rae is cool. I love her content, but what Michelle Obama and her brother Craig Robinson are doing, they're doing an everyday podcast. They're not doing anything, in my opinion, that's leaning towards anything political. We'll see. Like I said, there's only 2 episodes right now. We'll see if she moves towards anything political, but I highly doubt it. I think, obviously, if it was going to be something that was anywhere political or something that was supposed to rebuild her political prowess and imagery, her first guest is not going to be Issa Rae. So Michelle Obama has access to damn near anybody she wants to interview. You know what I'm saying? So this is going to be more of just in my opinion, probably a fun podcast where her and her brother talk about different things and interview, probably actors, entertainers, and other people, influencers, whoever. But it's not going to be political, in my opinion. We'll see. But at the end of the day, Michelle's she pivoted way out of politics. She doesn't want anything to do with the mess that is now the Democratic Party. And going back to the beginning, I think that, again, I've seen a lot of things with the party so far. And the most disrespectful thing I've seen so far is just doing the "we shall overcome" is a bad look. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know if you were offended by it or if you think it makes sense. I'm always good to agree or disagree with people. So let me know what you think in the comments. Crucial Combo.